As many as 200 Angus and Robertson and Borders bookstores could be closing their doors with the prospect of thousands of job losses after the parent company, the Red Group, was placed in voluntary administration late today. A debt mountain, the growing popularity of online book buying and digital formats are behind the chain's financial woes. Although they have no financial connection, it's the same story behind today's news from the US that the American Borders book chain has filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. The bombshell announcement here in Australia comes amid a tale of woe across the retail bookselling trade, as Peter Lloyd reports.
Borders and Angus and Robertson bookstores around the country were shutting their doors tonight as news filtered out that the parent company is in financial trouble.
I think it's incredibly sad. I think the publishing sector will be mortified to know that this particular chain, which is the largest retail chain in Australia, has now found itself in administration.
The company under administration is called the Red Group. It includes 161 Angus and Robertson bookstores across the country, as well as 26 Border stores in Australia, 5 in New Zealand and 1 in Singapore. Across the Tasman, Red Group also owns 72 Whitcoulls bookstores. Altogether, the group has 2,500 employees. Administrator Ferrier Hodgson says it's business as usual, at least until a creditors' meeting early next month. Today's announcement was no surprise to the publishing industry.
The Red Group reported a $43 million loss for the year and lost some senior staff in the last half of last year, so they've definitely been doing it tough.
While the Red Group has no financial connection to the US Borders Group, which coincidentally filed for bankruptcy protection in the last 24 hours, it does share the same tough trading conditions which have seen retail book sales dive over the past 6 months. Small bookshops are going to the wall in increasing numbers. At least 6 independently owned retailers are due to close in New South Wales in the next few weeks.
Do you want a bag? I would like one, thank you.
Zabriskie Booksellers has been a Bondi landmark for 20 years, but any day now the store will close for good.
Over the last 6 months it's really dropped. I mean, winter was really terrible and we only survived by me borrowing money to pay the rent.
Book retailers large and small are in trouble because the Australian dollar has risen in value in recent months and consumers are turning to the internet to buy books at much lower prices online, mostly from Amazon in the United States and the Book Depository in the UK.
My customers seem to buy 3 books instead of 4 books.
When members of the Booksellers Association gathered for their monthly meeting this week, it felt more like they were attending a wake.
Well, we're still here and that's what counts, but it's been the toughest year in the book trade since I've been in it, since '94.
You can offer what you can offer, but it's different to how it used to be. Since not just since Amazon or Book Depository or whatever, since Google really, the difference is people can find out for themselves what they used to rely on you to provide the information about. The expertise that you represent isn't as valuable as it used to be, and the fact that local is as local feels to most people.
And then there are people like Melbourne man Dan Milne and his laptop. On it, his invention, a website called Booko, that does something booksellers hate. It finds bargains.
Booko is a website which compares prices at about 48 online shops for Australian booksellers. It converts the price into Australian dollars and adds shipping. I did it to solve my own problem. When you're trying to find the best price for a book, it's quite a lot of work to hunt around on 5 or 6 different online shops. So basically, I was solving my own problem. When I first built it, it had, maybe 10 online shops, and my wife convinced me I should put it on the internet, and it just slowly grew from there.
No one knows exactly how much people are spending buying books online from offshore, but the internet payment company PayPal says online purchases from Australia for all goods increased 76% last year. And it's not just the internet that's killing bookstores. Kmart, Big W and Target are part of the story. These days, the big discount department stores sell around 1/3 of the books that are sold in this country. And because they buy in bulk, they can sell them on to the consumer at prices far lower than any independent bookseller could ever hope to.
That makes it very tough for us not to look like idiots offering the book at a retail price or maybe marginally off that. So we're caught there in the same way the corner stores were caught by the advent of supermarkets in the 1950s, 60s, 70s. We're caught because the perception is that a bookshop is meant to offer service, it's meant to offer knowledge, it's meant to offer range, it's meant to offer all sorts of things. But it can't do that and still compete with the discount department stores.
Booksellers complained that Australian publishers who set prices have been too slow to respond to the slump in sales. Only now are they responding. But in the internet age, it could be too little, too late. Peter Lloyd, Late Line.